What's going on? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, we got something important to talk about today. The question of the day is, are Bitcoin stocks about to BTFO, break out? We've got a huge run right now in Mara and CLSK. And so in today's video, I want to take a look at Bitcoin, and I want to look at the hottest Bitcoin stocks that I think could be about to break out. So let's get to work. So first, let's take a look at Bitcoin right here. So Bitcoin's been on a big trend. It peaked out around 74,000. And now it's just been marinating here for 1 month, 2 months, 2.5 months. Guys, this is very, very important because when you are trading, right? When you are trading, what we want to be doing is thinking about patterns. And so what a flat top breakout is, right? This is a flat top breakout pattern. So when you have something that has moved up 20 to 50%, it usually needs some time to breathe. And so what a flat top breakout is you have a trending name that consolidates for a period of time. And it's usually going to be about 2 to 3 months in a sideways manner, right? And so essentially you got this push, and then it's going to look like a big long flag. And we call this a flat top breakout, where you're starting to build out some range. Because stocks, they're like people. When you get really, really extended like this, you gotta rest. You've got to come into hibernation for a period of time. And so you start to build out a multiple month hibernation, like a bear in wintertime, right? You're just taking a nap. But now that the bear has awoken, and what you've seen the last few days is 2 power candles in Bitcoin here, right? Today, $4,000 power candle. A few days ago, $6,000 candle. And this is telling us a story. But beyond that, we have a flat top breakout starting to emerge in Bitcoin that I think could just get nutty if it ends up breaking out. Guys, the longer the consolidation, the hotter the break. The more times you test the level of resistance, the hotter the break. You need minimum 3 tests to break out, and we're about to do it. So Bitcoin's looking good. I may personally take a look at some Bitcoin options. Rather than trading actual Bitcoin, what I'll probably do is look at maybe taking some calls in BITO. I'm going to look at taking some calls in BITO, or you can do IBIT. They both track Bitcoin, but IBIT doesn't have any options. BITO does. Or I can trade Bitcoin futures on Thinkorswim, whatever it might be, right? But that's how I prefer to get exposure, because then I can do it in my longer term accounts or even in a tax advantage account like an IRA, versus doing it through Coinbase, where they're going to charge me about $1,000 in commissions, right? You want to buy 2 Bitcoins, so you're going to have to pay $2,000, $3,000 in commissions just to trade it back and forth. That I'd rather, right, go to my good old-fashioned E-Trade and do it for free, or do some calls and, juice that bad boy up. So I'm liking the look of Bitcoin if we start to push out of this zone. Now, on the other side of things, so what are the hottest Bitcoin stocks to trade beyond just BITO, which I'm going to look for some calls on? So if you look at CLSK over here, right, let's take a look at old CLSK. So what we want to be doing is, like, if you look at this bad boy, so we got CLSK, we've got Mara, we've got a whole host of these bad boys that are just getting juicy here. So first, let's take a look at CLSK. So CLSK has been just stuck inside this range for a period of time here, and now it's coming out. So its earnings were just last week, and so that's good. We're out of the way. It was on 5/14, so the earnings are out of the way. But we're also starting to come out of this range here, and we're testing it. And if we can close here, and tomorrow, like, we actually hold it, because if you look at, CLSK, oftentimes you'll have an update, then it pops back down, then update, pops back down, update, pops back down. We need to open tomorrow and hold over this, and I think that could be good, and then we can kind of come out of this zone right here and really start to speed up and get this bad boy out that way. And, we've got earnings out of the way. Then Omara here, if you look here, right, we've had a nice little range that it's been stuck in for a period of time, and we're just starting, right? We're just starting to come out of this bad boy here. I'm looking at this one maybe with a stop under the 9. Let's see how it opens tomorrow. If it opens weak tomorrow, right? And then goes red to green, I'll add it, and then I'll just use the 9 EMA as a stop, and we'll see if we can get this bad boy right into some of these kind of juicier zones where, you know, you might get this thing up there or somewhere else, right? So let's let's get into this, man. Let's get into some of these, right? So you got, these are now the two well-known ones, but there's a whole host of other ones. This iron has just started to kind of perk its pickle out, right? Just recently in the last couple days. And I think that this one is really setting up also for potential move. Now, it may need a day of rest here because it's up 3-4 days in a row. So, you know, one down day here, I think would allow this to back and fill, ready to go, right? One down day will allow this 9 EMA to go, and then we can really party. But this thing looks pretty damn good right now, right? You can see the cipher's been just hanging out. BidF has been hanging out. Most of these, I think, are personally kind of junk. But what we want to be looking at is, like, you know, some of the more liquid ones. Like, see, Riot does 22 million shares, but the chart stinks, right? Where HUT now does 3 million shares, so it has enough. But you're starting to test the 200-day moving average, and you've got this big range right here. So I'm thinking CLSK, Mara, Iron, and HUT are all starting to look like a really, they're starting to look a little zesty, right? They're starting to look a little bit zesty. And then the last one, and this one I'm really interested in because it's a little bit cheaper. I usually don't trade these cheap stocks, but you're finally remounting the 200-day moving average right now, right? This thing is explosive, and it's doing 18 million shares in volume. Guys, think about that. If you look at this particular name, it usually, yesterday is doing 6 million, the day before 8, but usually it's doing 3, 4, 3. Look at this day, right? 1.5 million shares traded. And so now you've got this huge base. This thing was just $5 a little bit ago. If this closes over the 200-day moving average, which it just did, right? But if it opens above there and holds there, I think that this one's got a chance to get all the way maybe back up here, right? Especially if Bitcoin breaks out. Remember that these are kind of like, if Bitcoin comes out of this range, which it looks like it's about to do, then all of these will play catch up. There may be a delayed reaction on them, but when they start to catch up, holy shamoly, they're going to be ready to party. So let's get this thing going, guys. Guys, smash that like button. Let me know if you have any questions. But these are my faves, right? So let's go back to this. I want you to add in Mara, CLSK, BTBT, Iron. These are going to be huge, right? These got all the potential in the world for us. And then the HUT Nation, all right? I want to add the HUT Nation too, and then we'll see like what's going on, all right, guys? Dude, smash that like button. Let me know if you have any questions. Bitcoin stocks, let's roll.